Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com and welcome back to 30 Days of Guitar. Today is day 29, our second to last day, and we are going to take everything that we've been learning so far and put it into a song that we've already touched upon, Stand By Me, and today we're going to play it using the real G, E minor, C, and D chords. Last time we played it in a bit of a simplified way. Today we're going to jump right in and take care of business, and learn this song how anybody would play it, whether it's at an open mic or however they're going to be performing it. Really quick before we get started, if you haven't grabbed my free ebook, there's a link in the corner. And if you haven't taken a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel, now is your opportunity to do that. And for those of you who have subscribed to the channel, I really do appreciate your support. Anyways, let's just hop right into this. Last time we did it, we used G and then we did like that E minor, and then we did C add 9, and then we did D. And now we're just going to straight up use G, E minor, C, and D. And we touched upon this yesterday in our metronome video. We took this chord progression and we practiced that. And I did that on purpose because I knew that we were going to be playing this today, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a warm-up. So that's definitely where we would start, just taking the G chord, switching to E minor, pivoting off our middle finger into C, and then moving into D. Remember those tricks. They're going to help a lot, right? Like from G to E minor, we leave our index down. E minor to C, we leave our middle down. For C, we're going to take these two fingers, put them to the edge. We finish up our D, and then we pivot off our ring finger. And we just keep doing that silently. And then we can add some strumming to it. You could practice it with your metronome. Do everything it takes to get prepared with these chord shapes. And something that I want to do before we, add it to our chord progression is test each chord out. This is going to be a really important skill moving forward as you learn more and more chord shapes. We make the shape, and then we pluck every string. You can kind of just drag your pick through it. And on a G chord, this string right here doesn't work a lot of the time, and that's totally fine. In fact, sometimes I'll mute it on purpose and just play my G chord like this. Then for E minor, make sure that our fingers are nice and curled, because a lot of the time that string, the G string, doesn't work because our fingers aren't arched enough. We gotta arch them enough. And then our C chord, and for this one, we want to avoid the thickest string. We can also have our ring finger a little bit higher so that it's resting underneath that string, muting it, and then you would, make sure that they're all good. And don't worry if they're not, right? This is something that took me 8 or 9 months when I was first starting before I could reliably just change through chords, and they sounded pretty good. And even then, it's not until I started teaching, 7 or 8 years after I first picked up a guitar, I started teaching people and doing the basics over and over again. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't as good at the chords as I thought I was, but then when I'm playing G, E minor, and C and stuff all day with all these different students of all ages, that's when I really felt like it sharpened up, which is kind of, interesting. Anyways, we have our D chord finally. And for this one, if you get your thumb over the top, lightly muting that thickest string, and we can include the A string. It actually sounds great in the D chord. Testing our chord shapes is, definitely going to help out a lot, but don't expect them all to be perfect. That's mainly what I wanted to say. Anyways, we're warmed up on the chords. As far as the strumming is concerned, we're going to be going down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And we've had plenty of exposure to this strumming pattern, the most common strumming pattern ever. We're going to be using it a lot, in the future, especially if you follow the channel. 75% of songs use it. Anyways, just warm up on that with muted strings at your own pace. You can try to tap your foot if you want, if you've been working on that. And then when you're ready, we can take those elements and we can put them together to play Stand By Me in the real way. Starting off on G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 times on G, 2 times on E minor, down, down, up, miss, up. Then once on C, once on D, and then 2 times on G. before we add the singing, I want to point out one absolutely critical thing. I believe we touched upon it before. When you're switching chords, on that final upstroke of the strumming pattern, it's okay to leave the chord early. So for instance, when we're switching from C to D, we play C, down, down, up, miss, up, down, and then on this final upstroke, I lift my fingers as I do the upstroke, and then I play D. Down, down, up. And I'm like really exaggerating lifting my fingers there, but my point is, you can leave the chord on that final upstroke, and when you're up to speed, you don't even notice it. You don't even really hear it there, and everybody does this, right? It is possible once you hit a certain point to like, get that final upstroke before you leave the chord shape, but most people don't acquire that skill for quite some time, and it's more important that you land the next chord shape on beat 1 than to hang on to that other chord shape till the very end of the pattern. So that's my number one tip, that now that we're using the real chord shapes and we're in the real world of guitar, I really want you to be aware of that. Anyways, let's try singing a little bit of this tune now with our strumming and chords and everything. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. When the night has come and the land is dark, light we'll see. I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If you want to play with the original recording, capo on the 2nd fret. That's the key that Ben E. King sings it in. And tomorrow, we're going to take a look at 29 other songs. So 30 songs in total that you can play using G, E minor, C, and D in various orders. So definitely subscribe, stick around for that, because it's going to, all this work that we've been doing, tomorrow is the huge payoff where we, get to utilize everything without learning anything new and, take advantage of it, reaping the fruits of our labor. If you want, download my ebook in the corner. Has all the chord progressions, all the stuff that you need. I also have my complete beginner course, which is 300 days of guitar. And that's pretty much it. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.